On the agency side of my business, last year we ran 185 different ads, and I spent a chunk of change running ads myself. But are they even worth it from an investment return standpoint? How do you know? And especially with all the privacy changes and iOS updates that have been going on, how does that affect things? In this video, let's talk about whether or not you should be taking advantage of social media ads to build your business. Hey there, if we've not yet met, my name is Ashlyn Carter. I'm a conversion copywriter and brand and launch strategist. I love figuring out how to help you make more money with your words, so spoiler, that ROI is important to me. In a video the other week, I talked about the 5 different buckets of traffic that you're gonna need in your business, because when it comes down to it, it's an eyeballs game. How many eyeballs are landing on your offers? By the way, those 5 buckets are direct, search and social, relationship, and paid, what we're talking about in this video. I get asked all the time, Ashlyn, I hate social media. Do I even need it to have a business these days? And that's a maybe, maybe not kind of question, because at the end of the day, like I said, it's an eyeballs game. Maybe you can hit that based on grassroots marketing, that would be direct traffic, or just through word of mouth and referrals, that would be relationships. But maybe you can't, and that would be a sign that it's time to consider some of these other avenues. Hit like if you have ever considered running ads before and then you opened up Facebook Ads Manager and you ran for the hills. It looks so intimidating. I get it. While you're down there, hit the subscribe button, because in next week's video, I'm gonna unpack our ad copywriting process. So like I said, we did this 185 times last year. I'm gonna take you through what we do. Don't miss that. And before I get into the content, I am talking about social media ads from an Instagram, Facebook standpoint in this video. I have not yet in my business, which is 6 years old, have not run Google ads or Pinterest ads. I think this is the year that I'm gonna do both. Let me know if you want a reporting on that as we figure it out. First step, here's what makes social media ads worth it. This comment right here was one of my very favorites that came in from our annual survey this year. Thank y'all so much for filling that out. And I loved it, because not to make this one of those like raise your hand if you've ever been personally victimized moments, but I've definitely sat in the room before and heard big entrepreneurs talk about how they grew their list or grew their podcast or whatever it is. And they're talking about all of the organic sharing, but I want to be like, and you paid a lot of money in ads. I know you did. So yes, sometimes people aren't telling you that they're paying a lot of money in ads. They're also being very smart about the ROI, and they know when it's worth it. I'll tell you in black and white, absolutely. I do use ads to grow my list, to get eyeballs on my offers, 100%. Anecdotally too, I'll tell you that at every single conference I go to or speak at least, at minimum, one person comes up to me and says, thank you so much, because I found you from an ad. I bought this product, and then I bought this product, and blah, 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 and it all started with an ad. I theme dressed for today's episode too. This I got because I was targeted with an ad, and I love it. I'm bringing this up because we like to joke from a public opinion standpoint that ads are terrible and creepy, but if we look at the hard cold data, here's what we see. 50% of adult internet users say that ads help them find the products and services that interest them, which is a lot of people out there finding things as a result of targeting. At the same time, I am a major privacy nerd when it comes to my own privacy. And we saw last year, Facebook, they're no longer able to monetize a large portion of their database. Companies like Apple and Google have made ad tracking an opt-in feature now. They've put significant limits on what third-party apps can collect. For the record, I'm comfortable with data tracking so long as it is consumer consented and it's actually helpful to the consumer, which brings us back to running ads for your business, because it actually may be so valuable. Like those people I mentioned that come up to me and thank me, it might be so valuable for somebody to get eyeballs on what you do that they wouldn't have heard about otherwise. Because the truth of the matter is this, it is gonna be so tough these days, and only get tougher, to get traction on social media through organic posts alone. It is kind of a pay and play market at this point. Social media tools, whether we like it or not, they do operate based on human behavior. The winner of what post can get the attention of the user is gonna win that spot. And yeah, maybe that's sometimes an organic post that you throw up, but maybe you'll benefit from a little bit of ad spend as well. That, in a nutshell, is the first thing that makes ads worth it to me. The second reason though I love is that you can test hooks and angles and hypotheses that you may have and get super quick insight on what spaghetti sticks to the proverbial wall in about a week's time, sometimes even less. Social media is acting as a living, breathing focus group for us. Think about magazines, that's where I got my start. I remember the media buying side. If somebody is placing an ad, or if you're placing an ad for your business in a local magazine, you may not know until 6 months from now how that ad actually did. Social media will tell you a whole lot faster what they like and what they don't like. Third, what I love is you can mix and match different hooks and angles and copy and imagery to find the best option and throw all your money in the winner and turn off the losers. That's gonna save you money. My friend Adrienne Richardson, she is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Facebook ads. She said this and I loved it. When you run ads, you never lose. You either win or you learn. That is the right attitude to have with ads. It is a sandbox. It can be fun to play in, but we want to do it smart. That brings me to cons of running ads. I have 3 here. Number 1, they are high maintenance. If you're running ads all the time, you can expect the creative to fatigue pretty quickly. Not the copy, good news for you and for me. The copy is pretty sustainable when it comes to your Facebook ads. Again, I'm going to talk about that next week, so be sure to hit subscribe. But from the imagery side, the videos or the photos, you may have to refresh those every 30-ish days. That can feel like a lot, but there's great tools out there like Canva that have so many templates in play. Creative Market, I'll link both of those below. They have ready-made templates that you can use when it's time to refresh that creative. According to Hootsuite, ads on social media have a worldwide revenue of $153 billion in 2021. That's gonna be growing to 2026 to an anticipated $252 billion with a B. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of people running ads. That's why it fatigues so quickly sometimes. Reason number 2, the ads manager. Again, I'm talking about Facebook and Instagram, or Meta, as I think we're supposed to call it now. That ads manager changes all the time and it can be intimidating. It was very intimidating for me at first. Here's my best recommendation here. What I tell anybody considering ads: know enough, like a lot of things in business, know enough to be dangerous and to speak the language. But I do recommend, if you're gonna be running ads all the time, consider having somebody, either contracting or somebody on your team, manage this all the time. I like to look at the data, I like to see what's going on, but as far as keeping up with all the changes, oh my gosh, it could be like a full-time job. Con number 3, because running ads kind of functions as an auction, you can't bank on it. You don't always know exactly what result you'll get. It's a little bit of a guesstimate. It's not an ATM where you put money in, you're gonna get the same thing back every time. It did kind of used to work like that, not so much anymore. Seasonality affects things, competition in your market is gonna affect things. What's going on in the world will affect things. Where social engine optimization, SEO, by the way, I did a whole long video on SEO if you need a starter crash course there. That to me feels more like real estate or long-term investing, but ads feel a little bit more like slots. You pretty much instantly see if it worked or didn't. Okay, another con sort of is that ads can't fix a bad landing page. Your landing page has to work. Which brings me to my next point. How do you know when you're ready to run ads? We talk about copywriting for creatives a lot around here. It's my signature framework and I love it. But here's why. The practicum portion of that program is your website and your brand message. Because at the end of the day, PR, SEO, any of that stuff is just gonna hold up a mic to what is already there. And if you don't know that your website or the landing page that you're sending traffic to is converting, and converting where it should be from a factual standpoint, like put your feelings aside, look at the data. What is the number? If you don't know that, then you might need to wait on running ads. Or just recognize that you could be losing some money there, because I'm spending money, I wanted to dang sure make sure that the page is converting high. What Facebook, especially since the iOS update, is gonna tell you the sales we're at isn't reflective always of the number of sales you actually got. You need to make sure that you're using tools where you can measure this. We have moved a ton of our funnels off of all sorts of different platforms, ConvertKit, Lead Pages, ClickFunnels, and we're putting them all on FG funnels, which has been so great. I just wanted all the data in one place where I could look at it. Another reason you may want to run ads, I didn't know this until I was a little bit further along in my business, but what is the lifetime value of a customer? So if somebody hops on your list, how much over time can you expect them to spend with you? And then that makes paying to get them on your list make a lot more sense. Number 4 reason you may want to run ads, I saw this one a whole lot earlier in my business, is what I'm going to call list exhaustion. These people have been pitched and heard about what you do so many times, they've decided either they want it or they don't, and you need to bring in a lot more new people to hear what you have. That's the thing that finally made me realize I need to start running ads. So here I want to go over a few examples of different ads that you could run, and I'm going to show you some as well. Lead magnets, your freebies, your opt-ins, of course. You want to make sure that these are converting about 20 to 30%, 40% would be even better. I like to try to make lead magnet pages convert at 40-ish%, but cold traffic 20 to 30 may be more realistic. You could run them to workshops or webinars or master classes that you're teaching. That conversion rate is going to be a little lower. Look for 20 to 30% minimum, 35% plus if you're really going for it. You could run quiz ads. This is something I want to experiment doing in my business this year because I have a what's your selling style quiz. I'm gonna try it out. Retargeting or abandoned cart ads. Absolutely. Retargeting ads can be a great place to start. These people were already interested, hit them again. Like I've said so far in this video, I personally like to run ads when I can see the ROI fairly quickly, but I want to start talking about the investment and the cost right now. You can lower your cost per action by improving the conversion rate on the landing page itself. I just gave you some good benchmarks for that to keep in mind, but you could also switch up the targeting. Targeting is a whole nother science. Obviously, since we're the copywriting side, with launches, we don't do a lot on the targeting, the media buying, and I have somebody that helps me with that in my business, but just know that is a lot going on there. What I'm saying is you can have the best copy and the best imagery possible, but if you're putting that in front of somebody who does not care at all about that type of thing, it's never gonna work. Copy is an extension of the targeting. Remember, I'm going to talk about that in next week's video. The last thing I want to do is give you 3 different investment strategies that I've tried that have made a difference. Number 1, boosting. We forget how easy it is to boost posts. So if you have something out there, an organic post that is getting some engagement, getting some feedback, getting shared, then throw some dollars behind that. Throw 20 bucks behind it and boost it. Remember, you want to get more eyeballs that are similar to the audiences that you already have to look at this. A strategy I've done before is post videos on my social media accounts and then retarget later the traffic that watched the videos with a lead magnet or something free. That way I'm not a completely foreign face to them. They've heard me talk or they've seen a video. Number 2, this idea is from my friend Julie Stolian, but I've heard it talked about before. It's the $1,000 test. Basically, the goal and the concept here is to find data and find it as quickly as possible. This works really well on a new funnel or an offer that you're putting out there. It also works when your campaign objective is a purchase. So essentially what you're doing here is spending about $333 a day for 3 days, or you could zoom that out and do 2 days, 2 days, and 2 days. You're spending money fast and quickly turning off what doesn't work. So by the end, you poured money into what does work and you very, very quickly have data on, oh, nobody liked this hook or angle, etc. The last investment I've done is the all-in launch strategy. So this one works best when you have a launch coming up. I mentioned earlier, you may just want some new fresh faces in your list. So if you're moving into a big launch, I would spend more on my ads in the weeks before to build up that audience. And I'm gonna figure out this by doing what I call backwards launch math. Basically, I know I can convert at this sales page so many people, so I need X number of eyeballs on the page, which means I need to zoom back and I figure out how many people then do I need to run ads to, which works backwards. So then I can think about, well, how many people even need to be on the email list and see this offer to potentially consider buying it, to seeing the sales page, to moving down to covering my costs. One thing I have learned no matter what with running ads is that you want to track the data every day or just be aware of it, but I don't want to make any decisions. This is a good split test decision in general in your business. I don't want to make any decisions until a good amount of time has passed. With ads, like a week. Keep that tip in the back of your mind. Sometimes I see customers or students or clients make quick decisions on, oh, that worked, oh, it didn't work. But you need to give enough time to pass for the full week to cycle, the Sundays, the Saturdays, the Mondays, so we can really get a breadth of information there to make a data-driven decision from. Placing ads in your business and running them can feel like a very big step. I totally get that. But if you know how to set up and write your ads effectively, they can be wonderful. Your copy can play a big part into that, so be sure to subscribe for next week's video. And if this has made you start thinking about other ways to introduce people to what you do, be sure to watch the next video I have teed up for you. I'm going to tell you about how I got my start as an extremely unlikely YouTuber and how you can do the same. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.